Welcome back to The Charismatic Voice. I am a huge fan of Lorna Shore's frontman, Will Ramos. And it's not just because he let us stick a camera down his throat, although that was amazing. It's because his harsh vocals simultaneously terrify and delight me. And all of the band members are wickedly accomplished at creating music. So it's time to take a listen to their new single, Into the Earth. Let's get to it. Sorry. This is a pretty nice intro so far. Got a shout out to the incredible recording of the Foley here. A lot of the sounds have a crispness to them, an immediacy. They're like almost like tangible in the way that you can hear them. They're very delightful. Again, that word. It's like the delight that one has when chewing on a kale chip with that perfect crunch. Anyhow, we have Lorna Shore's logo up here, so let's keep going. And that is why we had an intro to ease us into it. Whoa, that hit. As soon as the music got going, wow, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take a deep breath and go back to the beginning of the song. This is so interesting. You have almost like a vintagey sound on some orchestral stuff here. Definitely muffled. And then a sudden arpeggiation happening in some orchestral strings and drop. Like that is a lot going on in 5 seconds. I think it's so incredible how Will switches between sounds that are higher and lower very rapidly. Now, I say higher and lower with these quotation marks because we have in harsh vocals, we're not having true pitches, but there's more like a pitch center. So if I were to show you in something like Isotope RX, you would see that there's area that's highlighted or brighter, indicating that there's more sound in that area essentially, and a lower area of frequency or a higher area of frequency. Whereas if you had a true pitch, you would see a line, a bright line that says this is the exact pitch rather than a bright general fuzzy area. So the higher and lower ones, they have a lot to do with where that sound is being created, like where flesh or bits of cartilaginous material in your throat is going wacka, wacka, wacka and creating a sound, has to do with where that sound is originating, but also has to do with how that sound is reverberating or being enhanced as it moves through the vocal tract. And it's so fascinating how quickly he goes between lows and highs. It's just like a very, very rapid shift. And I know from seeing his throat in a camera that a ton of different things are shifting when he does that. So it's really, really cool to hear that fluidity. Oh, one more time. The anticipation. Oh, terrifying. Oh my God, what was that sound that I just stopped? Oh, I have to hear it. And there you have it. Gollum. If Gollum were to perform in a band, this is him. This is his moment. I also feel like we have goblins and ogres definitely in here. Maybe like a little bit of Uruk-hai. Anyhow, there's some really great ones. Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about the lyrics because I read through them ahead of time and was looking into what the band was intending behind this song. I think that the concept is really cool. So Lorna Shore says, Into the Earth is about the initial fear and acceptance of the subconscious whilst falling into a state of lucid dreaming. And I feel that we have this initial state that is just so scared, and they've captured the fear of it. It feels like it's raging fear. It's terrifying. Like I said earlier, many times, terrifying. But the visuals are really incredible. I think this is very well done to capture that initial state of fear. And I'm really curious actually how we're going to evolve next. So obviously, state of fear here. Are we going to evolve at this point? Or are we going to have more fear? Not sure. There's a reason why Gollum is like such a memorable character. It's not just the movement and the acting, which is incredible, but that voice, it haunts you. It gets on your nerves, and like you hear it still at night when you're sleeping and cradling a ring, right? Anyhow, terrifying, amazing, Will. Whoa, listen to the control of his downward slides in there, and then the last one he holds. And that one puts there. Cool. Oh my gosh. It almost sounds like he's doing some closed mouth sounds, which you saw him do in the camera too. Really cool. Um, you can still make all kinds of sounds with your mouth closed, right? Ventriloquists have proven this for years, I guess. But the sound just exits through your nose instead. So it's interesting. Even though the sound may sound quite different and get like sort of a cavernous quality to it often, uh, the function of what you're doing down here stays the same. You're just essentially changing the opening that the sound is exiting through. This feels so Stranger Things to me right now. Oh, it's so terrifying. Whoa. Oh my gosh. I can't listen to this and not have my heart beat extra. It's like, okay, I'm still here, right? Wow. They need to write music for a horror film, I think, or maybe at least some sort of tense scenes in something. It's just really incredible. I love the way that they create these moments of silence, coupled with the huge drops and hits. It makes it so every single time there's a big smack of sound, you are more affected by it because your ears just cleared in the silence right before. It's like, it's such a roller coaster. It's jarring. Wow. Oh, ooh, ooh. So often these really high pitched ones, when we were seeing Will make them in the camera, they have like a really tiny opening that we see. In fact, if you think about the way that the true vocal folds vibrate to create a normal pitch, all of this stuff that's like up here, the stuff is quite open at that point. And it's open so you can see all the way down to the bottom where the true vocal folds are, and they come together and they go wacka, 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 and they create a true pitch, not a harsh vocal like what we're hearing here. That's at the bottom, really, of all of these other things that are on top that can create harsh sounds. And so when we hear these really higher pitched ones, usually in Will's throat, we were seeing that all of this stuff above was really constricted, and it came down to this tiny, like little hole, like almost kind of looked like a little black hole circling down into it, which meant that he was constraining so many different things in his vocal tract and making the sound essentially originate at a much higher spot. And then he also would have often a more narrow area for the sound to be reverberating in as well, which again would enhance some of those higher, brighter sounds. Makes sense, right? When you think about smaller spaces, or often smaller instruments are associated with higher sounds. Like you think like a piccolo, like that's a small little flute, like that's the highest woodwind. And if you think about a big old tuba or a bassoon, those are much bigger instruments that have lower pitches that they're associated with. Same thing like violin, higher, bass or a cello, bigger, lower. So smaller space, often higher sound. Not always, but often. I'm going to go back just a little bit. Okay, that low sound you heard right there as I paused, that sound tends to have a lot more space back here as well. So we've taken the cavern above where the sound is being made. It tends to be bigger. And then down here, you'll often see the false folds involved with the sound. And those are right above the true fold. So it's much, much lower in the vocal tract. Also, when people are making really low sounds, with harsh vocals in particular, you'll see a little more rounding of the lips. If you elongate the vocal tract, it's going to help enhance some of the lower frequencies. Uh, One of the fascinating things that Will would do is there would be a twist in his vocal tract. There's this torsion you'd see in a rytanoid, and a rytanoid would kind of go like this instead of just going like this. They would kind of go like that, and an epiglottis would hang around as well. And then you would see the false folds in there activating too. And I'm not sure, I mean, we would have to model this computationally to really maybe get a better understanding of how that affects the acoustic. But part of me wonders if that torsion maybe makes it a little bit longer in some way to increase the depths of those sounds. I don't know for sure. Again, that was totally shocking to see on a camera, like literally jaw dropping. But it's something that Will does. It's so cool. And I think that's one of the reasons his sound is so unique. Okay, back. Right? This makes you want to scream out as if you're in the nightmare too. It's like this guy is in this weird waking dream and he can't get out of it. He's got all these creepy heads around him now. Oh gosh. Ugh. Oh, interesting. I feel like this is the moment where he starts to accept it, because you see this, that looks like a release of the image and the energy sort of dissipating and becoming okay, like blending into the dream. By the way, Lorna Shore's new album, I think it's called Pain Remains, releases on October 14th. So we're going to have a lot more new music from them, and that's super exciting. Okay, let's go back to something. Yeah, he's going to start dreamwalking now. That's a cool instrumental. I like the way we have this shift in the music here, where we have a much more sparse sound. We have just this guitar playing a melody here, and it's got some extra verb on it as well. It feels like it's transporting us to the next realm. It's a nice transition point. Very progressive of them too. Bass too. It's so nuts. It's so fast, so many notes. I mean, I feel like I'm quoting somebody that talked about Mozart when I say too many notes. It's not too many notes. I like all of the notes in there. It's so virtuosic in nature. Like I said, all of the band members are wickedly accomplished. They are incredible musicians. You know, I used to think that uh, metal had more noise in it, and I didn't appreciate it for the quality musicianship that goes into many metal songs. And I just have to say, it's been such an amazing journey at the Charismatic Voice, going through different genres and learning to appreciate and diving deep into their sounds and just having these jaw-dropping moments of, wow, these musicians are incredibly talented, incredibly brilliant, dedicated to their craft, no less so than somebody who has a conservatory 8-year education. These people have dedicated their life to it, and it's just super amazing, and I feel incredibly lucky to get to do this. Okay, aside finished, let's go back to this instrumental. I hope that appears in the next Guitar Hero or Beat Saber. That's amazing. That solo would be really fun to play. Ooh, creepy hand. I feel strangely uplifted and terrified at the same time. I'm gonna keep going. Oh gosh. Little venom happening. Alien. Oh god. I loved that section. The way it got quiet, and it's almost like whispery, harsh vocals that happen here. Obviously very high. Those are like the goblin-y ones. And then the crazy, I feel like an ogre came along afterwards. But it's like holding so much tension in the musical bed underneath. I really feel like we're watching a soundtrack to a movie or a dream here. The groove is awesome as well. So to offset Will's voice, which is in a very high frequency area, we have mostly low things. Even in the drums, they're not crashing on the cymbals, which have a higher frequency. We've got lots of stuff that is low to make space for Will's voice up there. That's like mind-bending. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love this ending. The big roars, of course, but then there's white noise and like little bits of foliage. And those are the closed mouth vocals, I think. Oh my gosh. That white rumble underneath. Oh, whoa. Whoa. Ooh. I think this is more. I thought that was the end of the song. Oh, he's mesmerized. Whoa. Ooh. There's like a character that shows up in the background there. Ah! Terrifying. I know that this was essentially already a soundtrack for a music video, but it is going to be so incredible when Lorna Shore scores an entire film or video game. I am there for that. Wow. Will is such an awesome person. By the way, you would love him if you got to meet him or talk to him in person. I did when we had our first interview here on the Charismatic Voice. We had great tea time together. You can check that out in the link below, or check out the podcast, which will release soon with some asides. Or if you want to see that amazing moment when we put the camera down his throat, you can check that out in this video over here. I hope to see you somewhere soon, and may you fall more in love with music every day.